You're managing girls.
Okay, we're managing a bunch of girls.
Is this digital p***ing?
This is digital management.
Watch that P word for sure.
Let's not use that word.
Yeah.
If he is, like, I don't know, maybe that's not illegal or whatever, but like
them and then put them out there.
What's your percentage?
Undisclosed.
Nice.
Yeah.
70.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Wednesday? I'm doing quite well. I'm excited. Survivor comes on tonight. So today's video, we're taking a slight departure. I know the last video I made about Adam22, I said that I wasn't really planning on covering his story, but I did find something that I think y'all are going to think is very interesting. Also, I have not heard anyone else in the whole Adam22, GRANDMaison saga talking about this. So let's get into it. So you may be aware, if you've been keeping up with the GRANDMaison story, that he did have a record label called No Jumper Records. And this record label was actually a sort of like shoot off or like spin off label from Atlantic Records. Now, this was back in 2018. So it was like March 2018 that No Jumper Records was launched under the Atlantic Records label. Now, that was in March. So by December 2018, Atlantic had decided not to renew the contract with Adam. There are interviews about this out there that Adam has done, and it seems like he gives kind of like non-answers. He blames these allegations that certain people had made against him of certain types of behaviors.
You at a certain point had to deal with Atlantic.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
There was those old accusations that came out, and Atlantic kind of washed their hands of that situation.
We had like a 1-year contract with like a 1-year addition to it where it's like an option to like do another year. And after the first year, they basically were like, they just had like hella pressure being put on them by like journalists and shit who just kept hitting them up for comments. How do you feel about this? Yada, yada. And it's like, there's so much fucking bureaucracy in that shit. There's so much like, it's hard to make things move. It just ended up being more trouble than it was worth because they were dealing with all this weird shit from journalists trying to get them like to, they had like journalists trying to get them to cut me off.
Essentially, he was accused of certain types of actions towards women, and then it caused a lot of problems for him. And that is one of the stated reasons that he has given for no longer being with Atlantic Records and having his own little label or whatever. The other day, I was looking into the Rebecca Mark Tate saga, and I couldn't help remembering how intertwined with Soft White Underbelly Adam22 is. Adam has a co-host on the show, Sharp the who came from Soft White Underbelly, and that still has not renounced Adam22. Additionally, Adam has made tweets before saying that he has had, we'll say, relations with a woman from Soft White Underbelly. In addition to that, Adam has had Mark Tate from Soft White Underbelly on his channel. And according to GRANDMaison himself, Mark Tate is the only reason why Adam had Lima Yevremovich, that's Bam's conservator, on his podcast at all. So there does seem to be a lot of overlap between Mark Tate and Adam22. And I was watching this Andrew Tate documentary the other night by KB Goes Live. And just in my opinion, my conspiracy theory, it seemed like a lot of the tactics that Andrew Tate was using are similar, unfortunately, to tactics I've seen GRANDMaison use.
Together with his brother, he devised a plan to start a webcam business. Andrew brought together 5 of his girlfriends, all of which he was dating at the same time, to meet in London. Andrew proposed that they work for him as cam girls, and despite 3 of the girls getting mad and walking out when he proposed this, he did get to move forward with the 2 girls who didn't leave. As a trio, they quickly garnered attention but struggled to retain it as their approach failed to resonate with their audience. Andrew recognized that the women's lack of understanding for what men truly wanted was hindering their success, and thus devised a new strategy.
So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in from me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in, and me and my brother would do all the talking. The girls were just famousers.
Again, conspiracy theory, speculation. Everyone's innocent till proven guilty and all that.
So like, let me get this straight. So the Patreon is usually OnlyFans chicks, right? Or just like some like ratchet
Like, we trying to make Plug Talk more like the really
stars.
well-known porn stars,
Right.
or the girls that we're managing.
You're managing girls.
Kev, we're managing a bunch of girls.
Is this digital pimping?
This is digital management.
Watch that P word for sure.
Let's not use that word.
Yeah. So when you, so is this like a Tyga, like, you know, Tyga's trying to do that shit, right?
I would. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but I would assume it's probably.
So are you managing girls like OnlyFans accounts?
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, not like running their account, but we're like in charge of promoting them.
He's them and then putting them out there.
What's your percentage?
Undisclosed.
Nice.
As a result, he decided to recruit more girls, saying that he was going to focus on those that were beautiful but lacked the business acumen to start their own ventures. Therefore, they would be loyal to him and his business. Over the coming months, he grew his roster to 75 girls and established 4 different premises for them to work out of.
So they keep whatever, they keep 20% and then you get your cut and then the girls stuck with the pennies.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm just.
But all of that led me to looking in a little bit to the business records of No Jumper and Adam22. I just want to show y'all a couple things that I found and a couple conspiracy theories, just in case you're interested in going down that with me. So the first thing, most importantly, the biggest thing I want to show y'all has to do with that No Jumper records situation. So I'm going to share the screen now. So just in case you didn't already know, which probably most of y'all do already know, Adam GRANDMaISON from No Jumper has not really had a great couple of months. I mean, a lot of those same allegations that have really been haunting the man for the last 3 years have been surfacing again. In addition to the fact that he has had people on his channel who his co-hosts do not approve of or agree with. A lot of other types of accusations and allegations have now come up against him, including that he is capitalizing off of other people's cultures, that he's basically just using other people to get fame and to get clout, and all of that. Also, he's been accused now of mistreating his employees. There's talks of lawsuits, and all this has really come up in the last 1 or 2 months. Well, it's real bad timing for our good friend Adam GRANDMaISON, because let me show y'all this. We're on the California Secretary of State's business search page here, and I just want to show y'all something that I found. So I type in No Jumper records, and actually there's a search result that comes up. If you look down to the bottom, it says No Jumper Records LLC, and it says initial filing date, January 23rd, 2023. So you can click on that blue block there and go down to this view history thing here. And whenever the history page does show up, there are 2 filings. So the first filing here is from January 23rd, 2023. That's the initial filing. That would be the articles of incorporation or articles of organization. And then the second one is just from like 2 months ago, February 2nd, 2023. And you can download them. I've downloaded those documents, but I wanted to show you something else. So when you go to Open Corporate, there's a free search website that is available to the public, and you just type in GRANDMaISON spelled like this. All these different companies come up that Adam is associated with, and then there's one here with Alicia GRANDMaISON and one here with like Fairy GRANDMaISON. I don't think that's related to Adam, but as you can see, all these first search results are Adam. So some of the companies we would have known about, we would have heard of it before, it would have come up before. For example, this On Some Bleep LLC and the Come Up LLC. Those 2 are associated. This one is with a clothing brand and a boutique that Adam had, or maybe he still has. The Come Up is, I think, something having to do with skateboarding or BMX or something. I don't know what AGLNT is. This one was started back in 2019. Here's On Some Bleep Retail. Then, of course, there's No Jumper LLC, which seems to be inactive. Adam22 LLC, which seems to have been shut down. No Jumper Inc. Now, this one does seem to not have been closed down, but it still does say inactive. And then the Come Up LLC, which I think is the same as here and just a different. The Come Up LLC was from 2009 to 2014 in California here, and then it looks like they reopened it and started a new one in 2018, and that one closed in 2020. But then I saw this PT Studios. Thought that was weird. And because it says Adam GRANDMaISON PT Studios and it started in 2020. So then I just want to click on that one. As it shows down here, the directors and officers of PT Studios are Adam GRANDMaISON, Farshid Khosravi is the agent, and then you have Lena Narizian. Now that would be Lena the Plug, who is Adam GRANDMaISON's fiance, maybe wife. definitely the mother of his child. And up here in latest events, it looks like Adam GRANDMaiSON was added as an officer within the last couple years. But PT Studios, I assume, is Plug Talk Studios, which is the podcast. Loose term would be podcast, but essentially it is adult content that Adam makes with his child's mother, and then they sell it on the internet.
And then Plug Talk is just like you guys, it's like mostly porn related stuff.
It is porn. It's actually porn. You know, we do like a 30-minute interview with a porn star, and then we have sex at the end.
You can't have sex on a podcast.
No, we do.
You can,
Like-
and we do.
We take our mics off and
Okay.
we move to a boom mic and we fuck on the couch.
Whoa.
They make this content with other women, and there have been some allegations going around. At least one woman who was sort of invited to go onto this Plug Talk podcast felt coerced into doing so.
Multiple other women that full out said that he them.
And not all the allegations against Adam22 are allegations. A lot of them are coercion allegations. Coercion is unwanted activity that happens when you're pressured, tricked, threatened, or forced in a non-physical way. All right, let me break this down into an analogy. Let's say you have a really popular podcast, and there's a girl that really wants to be on your podcast, and you say, okay, yeah, sure, you could be on my podcast, let's say in a week. And she says, okay, great, a week sounds great. Then the next day, you text her and you say, hey, what are you doing? You want to come over and have If she doesn't go over and have she might feel like you won't follow through with the podcast next week, right? So she goes over and has with you, even though she doesn't like you or find you attractive in any way. She just wants to make sure you don't get mad at her and not give her a spot on the podcast like you promised. That is known as coercion. So this is what DJ Academics was insinuating against Adam. So allegedly, Adam was pressuring Selena Powell into doing on the Plug Talk show when she never wanted to do that. She just wanted to make sure that Adam didn't cancel her podcast that she had set up on the No Jumper platform. So Selena Powell is the ex-girlfriend of blogger DJ Academics, and when DJ Academics found out that Selena Powell had been dabbling in the that's when all hell broke loose. DJ Academics got really, really mad at Adam, for pressuring his ex-girlfriend into doing which she never wanted to do. And he did a live stream with Selena Powell exposing Adam. And basically they both insinuated that Adam was a human slash coercioner using this coercion tactic to women to his Plug Talk show. Very, very disturbing, terrifying stuff. Of course, everything I have just said is alleged and nothing is stated as a proven fact.
I don't really want to get into my whole conspiracy theory just yet. But what I feel comfortable saying at this point is the tactics don't seem to be particularly ethical. I'm definitely going to do a whole deep dive into this. I'm going to put clips together and stuff like that. I have to be very careful about what I say, particularly on this, where we are. But I'm starting to get a little bit like vibey, if you know what I mean, about this whole situation.
All right, so this is going to be a clip of Adam propositioning Selena Powell to do the Plug Talk stuff in a voice chat.
Between me and you, keep this low key. Me and Lena have been working on the idea for the past couple weeks or months of basically us doing like a podcast. It's going to be primarily a slash podcast thing. So like a typical episode might be you and your friend both haven't shot real actual yet, right? Well, what if we, for one of the first episodes of this podcast, we have male talent.
Cheers, Selena, cheers!
With a huge dick. And then it's like, we could do, we could just do a blow, whatever. But either way, you guys are obviously going to make an insane amount of money off.
I do want to just point one other thing out, that this PT Studios was established August 26, 2020. And there's another company that doesn't actually show up on this list. But if you type in No Jumper on the California Secretary of State website, it'll show up. And it is called No Jumper Films, LLC. So if you click on the No Jumper Films LLC, you'll see that it was originally established in May of 2017. Now, what else was going on in May 2017, you might be wondering? Well, a very, very viral video. And, if you have kids in here and stuff like that, don't maybe let them look. But this right here was going on in 2017. This right here, this right here, and this right here. Okay. So conspiracy theory. This type of content was supposed to be what this lady was going to be making since 2017. Like in this, it's kind of dark, y'all, to be honest. In this video right here where she's brushing her teeth, they actually put out a wanted ad basically on Twitter for somebody to join them in those type of activities.
Today is a special day. I don't even know where the fuck I came up with this idea. But anyways, so then I had the idea of tweeting about needing a girl for 3 and holding interviews for this. I told the girls to meet at the On Some Shit store, Adam's shop, at 6 tonight.
And they had like interviews at the On Some Bleep store, but when Lena showed up there, and they don't show anything on the YouTube video. I mean, that wouldn't be allowed to stay up. And that's why Lena, the plug, has her own website. And that's why they have to do a lot of the stuff on the OnlyFans, because you can't put it on YouTube. But in that video, they like have these interviews and nobody shows up to them except this one girl does respond. And that's the girl they end up hanging out with. You can see her in the middle of the thumbnail right there. But then there's also this. I mean, look at the views this one got. 22 million views. 1.4 million views. So this is literally in 2017. Look, I mean, in this video, she's like, I'm going to get a Brazilian wax, all this stuff. July 31st, 2017. We wanted to have another bleep. So I put out a tweet looking for a girl who would want to join. We met the lovely Taylor, had fun, entire thing on premium accounts. So they're selling it already. The entire thing is on our premium accounts, all that. And then on top of all that,
I am here to make a formal announcement today. You may or may not have heard that I am planning on making a sex tape when I hit 1 million subscribers. I don't want to do porn. I have really no interest in doing it. No problems with it, but just no interest in doing it. But a sex tape with someone that I'm seeing and I'm totally comfortable having sex with, that sounds cool to me. Adam22 of No Jumper, he also must hit 1 million subscribers for us to make this tape. I know I'm only at about 32K I think right now, but shit, that was like, you know, in 1 month we hit that. So just, you know, a normal announcement about me filming my life and putting it out for the world to see. Very 2017 of me. So if you want to see me get maybe do some, then you should subscribe to my channel.
so that happened in 2017.
Very 2017 of me.
Lena posted I let my best friend bleep, bleep, bleep my boyfriend. Like I just showed y'all, does have 22 million views. That was in January of 2017. May 5th, 2017 is when this company called No Jumper Films was established. So I just can't help but wonder if No Jumper Films was supposed to be maybe something having to do with that type of content. I don't really know. Like I said, it's just a speculation. I'm sure there's people who do know about the history of this who are going to let me know in the comments what that's all about. But No Jumper Films has been shut down. No Jumper Films does not exist anymore. It was terminated last year in September 19th, 2022. Now, it just so happens that September 2022 is also when Lima Yevremovich went on the No Jumper podcast, but I don't really think that has anything to do with anything. But if you go to the PT Studios, which I'm assuming is the Plug Talk Studios, as it is owned by Lena Neresian, it was established in 2020, and they did file a recent filing in December 2022. So there is one more thing I wanted to show y'all. If you go to No Jumper Records, again, this is just kind of like, oh, look, I found something while I was investigating and also have some ideas, but it's all really half-baked. If you go to the No Jumper Records page on the California Secretary of State, it tells you all this information. And look, there's like an employment list. Look, agent authorized employees. You have Katie Golden, Laura Urbano, Lisa Chin, Sarah Bates, and Steve Donnell. I don't know who these people are, haven't looked into them, haven't really thought to, but I did want to just show y'all that if you ever want to look into records, if you ever want to do a little bit of research on your own, these are two resources that you can use. I definitely think that there may be something a little bit, I don't know. I mean, I want to be careful about what I say, but let's just say my antennas are picking up some weird vibes, if you know what I mean. Some weird vibes are going on. It seems as though it's possible that Adam maybe is making money off of his wife / girlfriend / child's mother's explicit content.
Fucking them and then put them out there.
What's your percentage?
Undisclosed.
Nice.
if he is, like, I don't know, maybe that's not illegal or whatever, but like, I just think it's like,
You're managing girls.
Kev, we're managing a bunch of girls.
Is this digital pimping?
This is digital management.
Watch that P word for sure.
Let's not use that word.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, on the one hand, I want to be body positive and autonomy positive and all of that. Like, on the one hand, I really do, but I cannot ignore those allegations, plural, that have now been made against Adam, including at least one person who's come out and said that she felt coerced and pressured into participating with Adam and his girlfriend slash fiance, whatever, in that way on camera.
We'd also pay you guys X amount of dollars, but yeah, let me know what you guys think of this.
I didn't know how to really say no because I really wanted this podcast. I didn't want to like be a star. Like, I don't want any of that.
Let me ask you a question. Did you feel that if you said, hey, Lena Maxwell, hey, Adam Epstein, I do not want to do this scene, do you feel like they may have said, okay, cool, so you're not with us, we don't want to continue your podcast? Did you feel like your podcast was in jeopardy?
Duh, 100%.
It seems like he was trying to coerce you into doing acts. Is that true?
Dude, like, I feel like if I don't say yes to this, like, he's gonna take my show away. So we signed the paper, and then that's when I seen that I was only getting $500. Yes, I did tell Adam when we were discussing the porn star, because the porn star said he'll do it for $5,000. And when I sent it to them, they're like, what the f***? We're not paying nobody no $5,000. Low-key, me and Eliza, we told each other, like, yo, we ain't doing shit.
20%, and then you get your cut, and then the girl's stuck with the pennies.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm just fucking with you.
We're making these ladies rich.
In addition to the fact that I saw a video on YouTube just this morning from 2017 where they were already trying to like recruit or interview girls for these 3, you know what.
Caught up for the last hi. We just caught up for the last 2 hours, and now we're gonna go to the store to meet with my potential partners. My plan turned out to be a semi-failure. I'm not gonna call it a total failure. Basically, I get to the store and there's no girls waiting to be interviewed. Like, nobody showed up, even though like 40 girls DM'd me saying they were coming. And I was thinking about like where I went wrong, and then I was thinking, I probably wouldn't come to this. Like, who wants to be interviewed in front of other people? Like, have a public casting couch?
Starting to vibe me out a little bit, and I haven't seen anyone talking about this No Jumper Records situation. Is Adam GRANDMaison trying to revive No Jumper Records because he just now opened that company with his name on it 3 months ago, literally this year. It's April right now. He opened that record company this year. I mean, I don't know if it's a record company. It's called No Jumper Records. But other than on the California Secretary of State's website, I haven't seen anything mentioned about it. I'm just wondering, did Adam have plans to launch another artist or something like that? And maybe he put that on hold because of all the drama going on. I do know recently he did kind of threaten to like not even be doing No Jumper anymore. I don't know. Is No Jumper, or has it become, or was it always supposed to be just kind of a magnet to bring in like young, vulnerable people?
So like a typical episode might be you and your friend both haven't shot real actual porn yet, right?
Talent to do records.
It's like when you met me, I was like dying to be around rappers by any means necessary. I was just trying to get something going.
To do films, to do PT studios. I've heard at least one account that the person said that they were only going to pay him just a little bit of money. Is it even ethical or legal for them to be paying people money for doing that? Maybe. I mean, I really don't know, because like if they're having casting calls like 2017 for these participants, I mean, I don't know. I really, honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. This is just bringing what I do know out here. I found some business records. They're open to the public. It's all publicly available information. So if y'all want to look it up yourself, do a little research, do a little investigating, I welcome you to do that. I will be filming a couple more videos today. Long Island Audit, Sean Reyes from Long Island Audit was arrested in New York just a couple of days ago. He is out. He is safe, but they have confiscated his phone. They have confiscated his camera and something else they took from him. I will be making a video about that. I will also be making a couple follow-up videos having to do with blind justice. The cops were called on him yesterday for so much as going to seek services at the VA in Panama City Beach. I do have a couple more things to report on having to do with the Trump arraignment and indictment, and I think I'll probably be done with that for a while unless they file something. So I do have a few videos It's a bug up there. I do have a few more different videos coming out. I really didn't intend on continuing to cover this Adam22 stuff, but I didn't hear anyone talking about that no jumper record. So I did want to get that out there and tell y'all about that. That's all I really had for today. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to be making a couple more Danbury videos, BAM videos, Long Island audit, blind justice. It's all coming. It's coming down the pipe. Just, I'm one person, you know what I mean? Gotta pick up the pace somehow. I have all these channels and I still feel like I don't have enough channels to put all my things on. Maybe I need another editor or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.